Good, thanks. Okay, welcome everybody. Namaste, thanks for coming. Let's get started. As usual, we'll start with our warm-up. We're getting into some back bending today. You won't need any props, but if you have a block, that'll be handy, and a strap can come in handy in some cases as well. Find space where you can move around where you're not going to hit anything or anyone. And please, let's stand with our feet about hip width apart, and we'll begin the Bachengang. So looking to the right, come on the balls of the feet. And look forward, looking left, and forward, looking right, forward, and left. Forward, keeping the heels down, look up. Center, down, center, up, center, down. Back to center, lean then to the right, and left, and right, chin up a bit, down a bit, and left, chin up a bit, down a bit, and back to center. Half circles with the head. And back to center. Now take your thumbs in a light fist, bend the elbows a bit, roll the shoulders back. And then forward. Okay, and then fingertips to the collarbone, roll the elbows forward. And back. Release the arms, give me a little shake. Now shift to one foot, lift the other, straight out to the side. Back to center. Big arms, circles forward now. And back. And thumbs in a light fist, elbows out, circling at the elbow joint. Other way. And then interlace the fingers, wrist rolls. Other way. And then some waves. Reverse. And then rubbing the palms. Hands to the kidneys, take the hips around. And other way. Back to center. Now shifting to your left foot. Right leg comes across, opens out in a big arc. Same leg in. And then other leg out. And then inwards. Heels get the toes together, rub the palms. Bend the knees, rub the knees. Keep the knees together, take them around. Other way. And standing up. Ankle rotations. Other way. Other foot. Other way. Okay, heels together, feet angled out to the sides. Lift the toes continuously, relax the shoulder, gently twist side to side. All right, come back to center. Feet parallel, hip width, bend knees, drop the tailbone. Really grounding yourself and then rock forward and back. Keeping the feet flat, staying grounded. Coming back to the center. Now lift one leg with both arms, then the other. Okay, and then shaking it all out with a jump. One more time. Jump and shake it out. Okay. Welcome. Namaste. If you're just tuning in, we're going to get right into our back bending practice. You might benefit from having a blanket or a block, but you can really do it without anything. We're going to start in a kneeling position. Now, this particular practice is one of my personal favorites. I'm going to be doing some poses that are a little bit more challenging today, but I'll, of course, give you options to do some easier stuff if you want to adapt it for your ability in any posture. But just be safe and err on the side of caution. You don't have to do everything. Take breaks, of course, when you need it. Let's start with a kneeling position for cat-cow. And typically, if you're new, if I'm not talking, that just generally means that we're holding the pose. If I am talking, it's usually instructions to move to the next pose. I'll try and do some audible breathing too, so you can hear me just breathing in the pose. And you can join in if you like with your breathing. So let's start with some breaths. Come into cat position, lifting up through the spine, through the shoulders. See if you can elevate your knees just a little bit off the floor, engaging the core. Don't forget to breathe though. And then letting your knees down. Take your hands a little wider. Let's loosen the hips with some hip circles. And the other way. And coming forward, kneeling push-up position. Now from here, you might do a few chaturanga push-ups, and then the elbows back. Or you might hold chaturanga or plank here. And then from wherever you are, come down to the floor and reach your left arm out to the side. And then please press your right hand and lift the right side of the body up to open up the side of the chest. Relaxing the head down. Unless it's more comfortable, hold it up. All right, then coming back to flat. Slide the left arm in, right arm out, and peeling up the left side. And back to the center. Slide the hands in. Now we're going to get to a light cobra, but without using our hands. We're actually going to hover the hands off the floor as we hold cobra. And then take the hands and slide, or hover them, I should say, forward until they're forward, maybe a little wider than the shoulders. And then just tuck the chin, rest your forehead for a moment. Now we're going to do a cross lift and lying tiger. So it's going to be right leg, left arm lift. Keeping them straight, lift the right arm, left arm, right leg up. And slowly release from there. Take a breath. Other side, left leg, right arm. Nice and long, nice and strong. And slowly releasing. Now we're going to lift all four. Here we are, coming up. Flying squirrel, sometimes called. And releasing. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Coming into a light cobra or into upward facing dog. And back through to downward facing dog. I like to start with the knees bent, really lengthen the spine, arms. Walking the dog, if you like. And inhale, come forward to plank, holding plank or kneeling plank. Work a little harder, you could come into plank up dog. And back, downward dog. Down dog, heels up. Heels down. Heels up again. Heels down again. Bend the knees, look forward. Step, walk, jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Holding flat back. And bending the knees. Ragdoll for just a moment. Place the fingertips down. Have your right foot forward, left leg way back into a deep low lunge. Coming up onto the thigh or reaching up high as you prefer. Crescent lunge. Float the hands down, lower the back knee without letting it come forward. Point the back toes. Press the tips of the toenails, see if you can lift your back knee, or at least lighten it from where it's resting on the floor. You might even come into airplane arms. It's a really challenging position to hold for most people, so feel free to skip it like I am. And then lowering your back knee, left palm flat, right hand, right thigh. You can stay here, you can reach up, you can lift your back knee again, or catch hold of your foot. Releasing there, tuggle back toes under, hop the back leg forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold, and bend the knees and send the right leg way back. Hips squared, left lunge. Coming up onto the thigh if you can, or reaching up high if you want. And float the hands down, lower the back knee, point the back toes. Press the tip of the toenails into the floor to lighten or lift your back knee. Maybe coming up for a few breaths. The arms. Then lowering your back knee, right palms flat, left hand on the thigh, or reaching up high, or reaching back for your foot. And releasing, tuck your back toes under, hop the back leg forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold. Firm the legs, inhale. Sweep wide and up. Exhale. Namaste. Okay, take a little break. Give me a little sip of water. Get a sip of water. And clear your mat if you have anything on it. Then please just take a wide stance when you're ready. First, we're just settling into this wide stance with the feet parallel. A bit of a tuck to the tailbone, a bit of a pressing back with the thigh bones. All right, now turn your left toes in, slightly right toes out, 90 degrees, bring your arms up. Tone your back leg continuously, arms wide now in Warrior Two. And bring your right forearm down, extended side angle, can also be hand on the floor if you prefer. And anchor from your back leg, coming into Exalted Warrior. Anchor from your back leg, come up. Right toes in, left toes out. Reach up, tone the back leg, inhale. Exhale, arms wide, Warrior Two. Need to widen your stance. Back leg is almost always a better leg because there's less weight. Forearm down or hand down. Right arm over, extended side angle. From your back leg coming up, exalted warrior. Pressing up, left toes in, both heels in, interlacing, turn the palms forward, and knees wide, arms up. As there's a post in front of you, inhale, grab the top of the post, exhale, press it down to solid ground. Good, pressing back up. Bring the feet in, heel toe, and shake the legs off a bit. Get ready for sun salutation A. In this sun salutation A, you could choose to just hold the downward dog, or you could come forward on the inhale to plank, then back to downward dog. To take it even further, inhale, plank up dog, exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank up dog, exhale, down dog. Just make sure you keep your heels anchored back so you don't collapse in your low back. Starting in mountain. Inhale, sweep wide and up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, step, walk, jump back. Lower either halfway or all the way down. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. You could just hold it, or inhale, come forward to plank, or plank up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank, or plank up dog. Exhale back, downward dog. A few more if you like. And finishing in downward dog on the next exhalation. Bending the knees, look forward. Step walker jumps to the top of the mat. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold. Burn the legs, inhale, sweep wide and up. Exhale. Namaste. Okay, shake it off once again. We're going to get into Natarajasana, dancer's pose. So you can do this by holding the outside, inside, double, cross grab, or strap. However, if you're fairly new to this pose, just stick with the basic one, grabbing right hand, right foot on the outside. Now pressing the foot into the hand, start to draw the leg back, keep the hips square to the front. Left hand comes forward, counterbalance. Eventually it reaches over and grabs your foot. And slowly releasing down on that side. Shifting to the right foot, catch hold of the left. Pressing back. Tuck the tailbone. Stay upright in the front body, hips square to the front. And then slowly releasing down from there. Now get ready for our sun salutation B. Starting in chair pose, accentuating the back bend here. Again. Exhale, straighten legs, fold over to the front. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, step, walker, jump back. You go right to downward dog or through vinyasa. Once you're in down dog, feet a little closer together. And take your right leg up and over. Then swing that leg all the way forward, between the hands. Turn the back heel down, rising up, interlace behind, heart opening, warrior. Then from here, lean forward. You can release your hands if you want, or keep them as they are, stepping up into standing balance in warrior 3. And then hands down, leg back. You can go right to downward dog or through a vinyasa. And once you're in a downward dog, feet a little closer, left leg up and over. Swing that leg all the way forward. Back heel down, rising up. Exalted, heart opening warrior 1. And leaning forward, step or slide up onto the left foot, coming into airplane variation of your choice. And then bring the hands down, leg back, go right to downward dog or through a vinyasa. And please bend the knees down and sit back for a second. Now, one effect that we want in our back bending practice is to free up space in the kidneys. So if we do an inversion, it actually helps to clear fluid out of the kidneys and allows us to move into that space. So we're going to do a slight inversion next. There's a few options. You can do it with your forearms flat and parallel, or with your fingers interlaced. You can do it with your head down or with your head off of the floor. Okay. So this is basically a forearm or headstand prep downward dog variation to try and get upside down. So whatever one you're choosing, coming on up and just holding for a little bit. Again, head can be up or down. And coming out when you're ready. Try not to spend time in the child's pose just yet, even though you might feel inclined to it right now. Now we're going to go into a bit of a Supta Virasana. So knees close. See if you can get your feet wide. Start to sit between your feet. As you probably know, as I always mention, this pose varies a lot from person to person. So just find the pose that works for you, how far back you can go. Don't be afraid to use props. Don't be afraid to sit it out if it's just not a pose you like, or that your body can do safely, I should say. The full variation is to go back and reach over top. Pressing into the wall is even better. And pressing up from there. Now we're going to come into a pigeon pose, but try to stay in the upright, the back bending version of pigeon. if you can. The right leg forward, hips square to the front. Upright back bending version. You might do something with your back leg, like so. Okay, finding your way to the other side. Maybe throwing in a vinyasa if you're really good energy today. Okay, coming back through, downward facing dog. And bend the knees once again. Now this next pose, you might want to fold over your mat, go under your knees. You might want to use a blanket, totally up to you. And this is the pose that you might even sit out. Now using blocks can make it easier because you can put blocks beside your feet. This is camel pose, Ustrasana. So if you're using blocks, that's how you'd set them up. And keeping the hips forward, they should stay over the knees. So your femur's vertical. Then you take one arm back to either your block or to your heel. And the other arm back. Hips forward, tailbone tucked. Chest lifted. You might be able to take your head back comfortably or just keep kicking forward, no problem. One test to see if you should take your head back is if you can still talk and breathe. Obviously, if you can't breathe, that's never good in the pose. And with strong legs coming up, great. Sit back. Now make our way around to a seated position. Have the feet hip width apart. Scooch forward so you're sitting against your heels, and then we're lying back. We're going to come into a little bridge and then possibly a full wheel. But let's start with that little bridge first. So then the elbows, press the back of the elbows into the floor, lift the hips up. Little bridge. Now feel free to hold here or take a rest and do a second hold. Or if you're ready for a full wheel, you want to do that. Bring your hands into position beside your ears. Press up, even just onto the top of your head is great. But if you're going to press up from there even more, go for it. And slowly lowering back down when you're ready. One last thing, one last back bend before we start turning things around and balancing it out. Catch hold underneath your hamstrings, extend your legs, point the toes, press the elbows into the floor, keeping the hips down, arc the spine, lifting the heart, let your head go back looking up, gently resting the crown of your head, keep the arms engaged, fish pose. And tucking the chin, and hugging your knees in from there. lift your head, tuck the chin, curve the spine, rock gently forward and back. Come up to a seated position and into Malasana Garland. Feel free to stay in Garland or practice your crow pose. And then seated position for boat pose Navasana. Balancing on your 3 points, control behind your hamstrings, extend the arms, just lifted. And feet up. Arms forward. Bring your legs forward. And coming into Baddha Konasana, cobbler's seat. And then catching hold of your big toes, still balancing on your 3 points, bring the feet forward or wide. And then coming down or coming down another way. And sitting up tall. Bring your belly button forward. You could actually lie forward onto the floor. Go for it. If you could go forward and you have a block, go for it. For the rest of us, hands behind. It's often the best way. Great. And feet together. Tadasana. Staff pose. Possibly resting the hands in your lap, holding, sitting up tall for 5 breaths, or pressing into the floor or blocks to lift up. And then sitting on down. Bring your right leg back into Janu Shirshasana A or Janu Shirshasana B. Or really any Janu Shirshasana if you know them. Sitting up tall, square up to that left foot, start to tilt forward, leading with your belly button. So you can grab your ankle foot or use a strap. Changing sides, other leg, other Janu Shirshasana. Sitting tall, forward. And then sitting up tall once again. Now we're going to find our way into wide-legged child's pose. Oh, sorry, first inverted twist before that. So from all fours, we take the left arm up and through, shoulder down. There's other variations you could do. You could do the one where you reach up, make it more upside down and a little more challenging. And releasing down, pressing up. Other side, right arm up and through, shoulder down, side of the head down. Maybe leg up or other variation. And then releasing, taking the knees wide. I like to go extra wide because now I'm warmed up after all these poses. So big toes touch, sit back to the heels, and arms forward wide, legged child's pose. Or variation. You could rest the elbows down at this point. Walk the hands in, bring the knees in. You can sit in between your feet, just sit on the floor in between your feet. If you would need a block, then put a block under. If none of that is comfortable or you don't have a block, just sit cross-legged. We're just doing a twist, a seated twist. And this was the easiest position to go into from child's pose. So from here, left hand to the right leg, right hand behind, bit of a lean back, and gently twist right. Back to center, right hand across the left hand behind, chest lifted, gently twisting to the left. And coming back to the center. We make our way around onto our back. Viparita Karani, downward flowing lake. You could do this against the wall if you wanted. You could do it with a block under your hips if you prefer. Now, if you have a block and you really like supported bridge, you could come into that after a few breaths of the legs up if you prefer. Now feel free to hold any of those poses longer, but when you're ready, coming into Shavasana, classical with the legs straight, or Shavasana, the knees bent, knees in. Now there's a way you can do it with a bolster that's quite comfortable as well. I might as well demonstrate. I don't expect that you have a bolster, but if you did, this is a nice version of Shavasana. Let's take just a few minutes into some version of Shavasana. Please take your time. As always, no rush whatsoever coming out of your Shavasana. The longer you can stay, the better. That is a big part of the practice, is being able to stay in that deep, relaxed state longer and longer, bringing more and more sharp awareness and consciousness into the pose. So really the evolution of the pose is the duration as well as the quality of your consciousness in the pose. So it's a lot of work. So, take the time, at least do a few minutes of Shavasana every time. So thank you all for coming once again. If you want to join me for meditation, I'll be meditating for a few minutes now after this. But if you have to check out, then thank you again. Hope to see you again next time. I want to mention too, if anyone has any requests of any poses that we don't cover in this style, I try to practice every common pose, essential pose, and incorporate it into this style. But if there's a pose that you really quite like and you'd like me to touch on, I'm happy to talk on it and work on it. So please, I'm happy to receive some feedback, any ideas you guys would like to do in class and whatnot. So thank you. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you next time. Namaste. Please continue meditating if you can. Thank you. Namaste.